Okay, hello, this is Victor, and in this video you'll see more examples of why Trump deserves the term that I use to refer to him as the idiot apprentice. Please watch this video.
Hey everybody, it's Will Salatan from The Bulwark. Did you know that Donald Trump is one of the smartest people in the world?
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
That's what he says. And today, we're going to test that theory. We're going to watch Trump as several Fox News anchors try to coach him to stop saying stupid things and start saying smart things. Let's see how well he does. We'll start with Trump's opinion of his own intellect. Here he is earlier this year, explaining just how brilliant his family is.
You know, I had an uncle. He's the longest serving professor, Dr. John Trump, in the history of MIT. Same genes. We have genes. We're smart people. We're smart people.
So I guess his point is he inherited the smart genes from his uncle, right?
And here's Trump at a rally in Atlanta on Saturday, ridiculing his opponent, Kamala Harris.
She happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. She's Bernie Sanders, but not as smart.
See, this is just by saying that Harris has a very low IQ. That's just another example of him attacking people personally for absolutely no reason. He just babbles on and on and on. He doesn't talk about policies. He doesn't talk about specific issues dealing with the population because he's out of touch with what issues the population deals with.
That's the way I view her. I said she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders and actually further left than him.
So that's what Trump thinks of his own intellect compared to the intellect of his opponent. But let's see how Trump does in real life. Here's Trump in an interview with Sean Hannity 2 months ago. Hannity is trying to get Trump to clean up a quote in which Trump talked about bringing retribution to his enemies. Watch.
Focus on those that want people to believe that you want retribution, that you will use the system of justice to go after your political enemies.
So, number one, they're wrong. It has to stop because otherwise we're not going to have a country. Look, when this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them. And it's easy because it's Joe Biden and you see all the criminality, all of the money that's going into the family and him.
You talk about money going where it's not supposed to go. You, Mr. Trump, were convicted in the state of New York for embezzlement of millions and millions of dollars, stealing from a charity, claiming that the money was going to go to the United Negro College Fund. That's just one of the charities that you stole money from.
That was a good try by Hannity. He wants Trump to let go of his grievances, but Trump can't let go. He repeats the grievances and says he's got every right to go after Biden. So Hannity tries again. This time, he tries to spoon feed the right words to Trump. And watch what Trump says in response. You'll see Trump blurt out in the interview that Hannity is trying to tell him what to say and that he's not going to say it.
Will you pledge to restore equal justice, equal application of our laws, end this practice of weaponization? Is that a promise you're going to make?
You have to do it. But it's awful. Look, I know you want me to say something.
No, I don't want you to say. I'm asking.
But I don't want to look naive.
I don't want
what they've done to the Republican Party, they want to arrest on no crime. They want to arrest the person that won the nomination in a landslide. There was nobody even close. In a landslide. The person that got millions of votes, more votes than any other sitting president in history in the last election.
There he goes, back to the grievances, the self-pity, and the ego. Hannity tried his best, but Trump just would not take the hint. So let's see how Trump does with a different teacher. Here's Laura Ingraham, another Fox News host, interviewing Trump last week. She's trying to get Trump to clean up a different quote in which he said that if he becomes president again, Christians won't have to vote anymore.
They're also attacking you for other ridiculous reasons. They're saying that you said to a crowd of Christians that they won't have to vote in the future.
Yeah, let me say what did I mean by that. I had a tremendous
Yeah, so go ahead and say what you mean by that.
crowd speaking to Christians. I mean, this was a crowd that liked me a lot. I think I'm at 97% or something.
Look, the assignment here is really simple. Ingram wants Trump to say, no, I did not mean that if I win, there won't be any more elections. But instead of saying that, Trump goes back to what an awesome guy he is and how everybody loves him. So Ingram has to step in and try to steer him back to what she wants him to say. Watch.
Look, Christians are known. You know who else doesn't vote? Gun owners don't vote.
But just to be clear, what you're saying, though, you're not saying it's being interpreted as you are not surprised to hear by the left as well. They're never going to have another election. He's saying there's not. So can you even just respond to that?
I said Christians. I started off by saying, just so you understand, you never vote. Christians do not vote well. They vote in very small percentages. Why? I don't know. Maybe they're disappointed in things that are happening, but for a long time.
Again, here's a Fox News host trying to spoon feed Trump the right thing to say, and she can't get him off these rants. It's starting to look as though Trump, despite his brilliant genes, is a very slow student. Then, last Wednesday, Trump went to speak to the National Association of Black Journalists. As you might have gathered from the name of the organization, there were black people in the audience, and Trump needs to persuade black voters that he cares about them. Instead, he did the worst possible thing. He attacked one of the interviewers who shared the stage with him, Rachel Scott of ABC News, and he attacked the ancestry of Kamala Harris. This you gotta see.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
that she is... I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
This performance was so awful that another Fox News host decided to step in. Harris Faulkner, who has her own show on Fox, happened to be one of the three people on stage with Trump at the Conference of Black Journalists. So she intervened in the conversation to try to get Trump back on message. Watch.
Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
I'm willing to bet the idiot has no message.
Message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock. You're an organization with black people. And so there's a lot of black people there, naturally.
That coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What the hell's a black job? I'm a black man. I was a software developer. I was a programmer for 16 years. Was that a black job?
What exactly is a black job, sir?
You gotta feel for Professor Faulkner. She's trying to get Trump to stop insulting black people. Instead, he goes back to his old riff about black jobs. So she tries again. She asks Trump to please focus on a constructive message about inflation and living expenses.
How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, this woman was unable to get the right equipment.
Can you believe this guy? He's still bitching at Rachel Scott. He can't even learn her name.
That's what he does. He moans, groans, bitches, and complains best. That's what he's best at.
Keeps calling her this woman. In fact, later in the interview, Trump goes after Scott again. And listen carefully to this clip, because as he speaks, you'll hear Harris Faulkner blurt out her dismay at what a jackass he is.
If I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my goodness.
me, and I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That wasn't a question.
Did you hear that? Oh my goodness. That's the sound of a teacher acknowledging just how obtuse and obnoxious her student is. But let's give these Fox anchors one more shot. On Thursday, Maria Bartiromo, who has a morning show on the Fox Business Channel, interviewed Trump about a series of issues. She told him quite clearly that she wanted him to focus on his policy differences with Kamala Harris. Watch.
Mr. President, I really want to focus on policy in this interview because I want to make sure people understand what your policy is.
Okay.
But once again, Trump did not follow the assignment. He insisted on attacking Harris personally, and he also personally attacked Joe Biden, who isn't even running against Trump anymore.
That's what he does best. He just moans, groans, bitches, and complains and attacks people personally. He has no policy. He can't formulate a policy on his own.
Trump said about both of them.
Oh, she's terrible. She's not respected in foreign countries. I mean, she's laughed at. Everybody can't believe that this is happening. And I'm not a fan of Biden. He's not a smart guy. Never was. You can go back 30 years. He was never a smart guy. But she's not smart either. She's not a smart person.
Are you going to debate her?
Well, I want to.
No balls.
We're leading in the polls, it seems, by quite a bit still. She's better than he is, but I think ultimately she'll be worse than him. She is not a smart person. She's not a smart person.
Those insults are the essence of Donald Trump. He's just a mean, petty, juvenile SOB. He's way more interested in demeaning other people than he is in helping anybody. And it's especially ironic.
And that about sums it up. What he said was a appropriate closing statement. That about sums it up for Trump. Thank you for watching.